Hi everybody, this is Richard from your resource team at Adult Day Services, welcoming you to another virtual class. Today our topic is titled Observation, Awareness, and Listening Skills. So today we're going to talk a little bit about our senses, how we use them to become aware of our surroundings and the world around us, and how we use these skills to, detect danger and to keep ourselves safe. Okay, so awareness and our senses. What are our five senses? I'll give you a few seconds to think of them. That's right, these are our five senses. All right, so in no particular order, our senses are taste, touch, sight, smell, and hearing. So I'm going to talk about a little bit about each of these senses individually, and I'm going to talk about them in order of importance in terms of what we're talking about today, which is awareness of the world around us and how we use them to keep ourselves safe. All right, so our number one sense is the sense of sight. We use this sense the most to make sense of the world. All right, so this is the sense that we, as humans, use the most in terms of figuring out the world around us and for spotting danger. The human brain actually has a the largest parts of the brain are devoted to the sense of sight, so it's a very important one. We're always looking around us. We're looking at, possible dangers and things that might come out of the world. The second most important sense in terms of awareness is hearing. It helps keep us safe from things going on around us. All right, so often we're looking at something, but if there's some kind of danger or something that we need to know that's happening outside of our field of vision, we're often going to hear it. So an example I can say is, when I'm driving my car and I'm driving down the road and I'm being a good driver and I'm looking at what's ahead of me, right? All of a sudden I'll hear a siren sometimes, right? So that's telling me that there is like an ambulance or a fire truck or a police car, possibly, hopefully not, wanting to pull me over or whatever. But anyways, so it's that alarm is telling me there's something else I need to pay attention to, right? So that's where hearing would come into place. Also, maybe if you're at home playing some video games in your living room and you're very focused on that, but all of a sudden you hear this beeping and it might be a smoke alarm, right? So that's going to tell you that there is a danger out there that you need to pay attention to. All right, the next sense I'm going to talk about is the sense of smell. All right, so this is another sense that we do use. It can be directly attached to our emotions and long-term memory. So the memories that are attached to smell, they're very, very strong, right? So often you'll have a smell that'll take you back maybe to even your childhood, right? Like sometimes if I smell like an apple pie, it'll take me back to being a kid and my grandma making the best apple pie ever, right? It'll just take me right back there right away, and just a quick smell will do that to you, right? In terms of like how we use it to detect danger and stuff, smell can be used this way. Often, if there's a fire or something, you're gonna smell the smoke before you see the flames or feel the heat or anything like that, right? So the sense of smell can be important that way. Also, in terms of the foods we eat, right? So we can use the sense of smell to maybe smell if they've gone bad, or if there's a bunch of spice in there that maybe you don't want to eat, right? You can sometimes smell that. All right, so the next sense I'm going to talk about is the sense of taste. All right, so sense of taste, how do we use it to make sense of the world? Well, it's really used primarily as an awareness of what is going into our body, the things that we eat or drink, right? So we can recognize if we're eating poison, hopefully we'll recognize it, or spoiled food if it's rotten and gone bad. I know myself, I'm one of the people that I hate throwing away food, especially food that I've paid hard-earned money for. So I'll often eat things that are a little bit past the expiry date. But if that's the case, they got to pass a couple tests, right? So first off, they got to pass the smell test. Does this thing smell like it has gone bad? If it has, I'm not going to eat it. Once I taste a little bit of it, does it taste sour? If it tastes sour or rotten, I'm going to stop eating it. So these are ways that we can use these senses to keep ourselves safe. Final sense I'm going to talk about is the sense of touch. It's not one that we use a whole lot in terms of navigating our world, but sometimes we do, right? It can help when navigating in the dark, right? So you're going to realize how important your sense of touch is, you know, if you're home alone one night and the power goes out, right? And all of a sudden you got to make your way back to your bedroom or the washroom or something where it is completely pitch black. You're going to realize that you use your sense of sight a lot. So you're going to have to revert to using your sense of touch. And this is where you would feel your way along a wall, you know, you'd feel around tables and stuff. You might even, you know, stub your pinky toe on the coffee table, and you're really going to appreciate your sense of touch at that point. Anyway, all right, so these are our 5 senses, and we do use all of them, and to varying degrees in terms of getting an awareness of the world around us. All right, so why are using these senses and our observation skills important? First off, to notice things around you, right? So, you know, as we talked about, we use our visual skills a lot. So you're looking around, you're seeing what's going on around you, and you can spot dangers that might happen. You can avoid situations that are dangerous or you don't want to be in, right? So if you can see the danger or sense the danger somehow, you can avoid it, hopefully. You can see things that happen quickly. All right, so for example, if I'll use another driving example, if I'm driving in my car and going along and all of a sudden the person in front of me brakes suddenly, all right, I'm going to need to react to that, right? I'm going to need to slam on my brakes, or I'm going to need to swerve around them if that's a safe thing to do. These are very quick decisions that have to be made, right? So if you're using your observation skills and noticing things as fast as you can, it's going to help you to make those decisions and to keep yourself safe. You're going to see how others react to situations, right? So we are social creatures, and we tend to guide the way that we react to things based on how the people around us react to things, all right? So this is you know, this can be a good thing, right? And it's a good way in terms of dangerous situations, right? You can often gauge what other people are doing and give yourself a hint of what maybe you should do. So maybe an example would be you're going to Tim Hortons, you know, for your afternoon double to get you through the rest of the workday. And as you're walking up, you see, you know, 5 people running out of Tim Hortons as fast as they can, and they're screaming. All right, so what do? Well, you first off, you wonder what's going on, right? And people are running out of this building. Maybe I shouldn't go into this building, right? So it would give you some clues as to what you should do next. Also helps you to be more self-aware, right? So if you're aware of the surroundings you have, of your surroundings, if you're aware of how good your senses are and your use of your senses, it's going to make you more aware of yourself. Here is a quick, it's a quick old psychological kind of experiment thing, which is kind of interesting. All right, so we have a bunch of colors, and they are written in different colors, and they're not necessarily, actually they're not at all, written in the same color that the word says. So we can ask you a couple things here, right? So the first thing, maybe I would ask you, can you read me what the word says? All right, so I would go, this one is yellow, blue, orange, black, red, green, purple, yellow, red. So, and so on and so on. So that's fairly easy. The harder one, all right, tell me what the color is. Not the word, but the color. So I'll try doing that now. So we have orange, red, purple, green, black, yellow, red, green, purple. Okay, and so on and so on. All right, so you might have noticed that I was going a little bit slower and struggling with that. Yeah, it's a difficult thing. It actually gives me a little bit of a headache, actually. And what's going on there is that the human brain, we have learned that reading is important, and there's a lot of important information we get from reading. So when we encounter something that's written in our own language, our instinct, and without us even trying, our brain is going to read it. So that's the first thing we know about it, right? So we're going to recognize this. For this first one, we're going to recognize that it says yellow before we recognize the fact that the color is actually orange. Okay? So that's just an example of how our observation skills are pretty natural, and it's hard to kind of do things that are unnatural here. I'm going to invite you to maybe pause the video here and try that for yourself. Try and read the color of each of these words. Not the word, but the color that it is shown in. Good luck. Hope you don't get a headache like I do. Okay. Okay, so now that we're done with that. Okay, so activity number 1, eyewitness test. All right, so this is where it gets a little bit fun. I have some activities for you guys to test your observation skills. I'm going to put up a picture here, and I'm going to give you a chance to study it for 60 seconds. And once we are done with that, you will have a chance to answer some questions about it to see how good your visual and observation skills are. All right, so here we go, and 1 minute starting now. All right, so there's your 1 minute. All right. All right, so see if you can answer these questions. All right, so these will be questions about the picture you just saw. I might invite you guys to maybe pause the video and step away, get yourself a pencil and paper if you want to write down your answers. If you don't want to do that, that's perfectly fine. You can keep them in your, if you have a good memory, keep them in your head. All right, so here we go. Here are some questions for you. How many people were involved in the accident? How many males and how many females? What color were the two cars? What objects were lying on the ground? What injury did the man on the ground seem to have? And finally, what was the license plate number from one of the cars? Okay, so once you've written down all your answers or got them in your memory, we're going to test you here. All right, so here are the answers. Okay, so 4 people were involved in the accident. There was 1 female and 3 males in the picture. The color of the 2 cars were red and white. The objects lying on the ground, there was a tire, a spring, and a long piece, possibly a bumper or something like that. What injury did the man on the ground seem to have? An injured head. He was holding his head, so likely hurt his head somehow. And what was the license plate number? It was 63CX. I'm not sure what kind of area has a license plate with only 2 digits and 2 letters. Probably a place with a low population or something. But anyways, all right, so those are your answers. Hope you guys did good with them. All right, second eyewitness test for you guys. I have another picture for you. This one we're going to do for 45 seconds, okay? So I'll invite you to study this image here for 45 seconds. All right, and we're going to start now. Okay, so that's 45 seconds. All right, so here are some questions for you. First question, how many dogs were in the picture? Was it a male or female in the picture? What color were the dog leashes? What words were written on the wall in the background? Okay, so here's the picture, so it should answer your questions for you. So how many dogs were in the picture? There are 1, 2, 3, and 4. Was it a male or female in the picture? Well, I assume they're talking about the person. So this person here, to me, she looks to be a female. What color were the dog leashes? They look to me to be red and green. And what words were written on the wall in the background? So we have this over here. It says, Best Friends Animal Society. So likely some kind of pet shelter or something. All right, so I have one more test for you guys. I'll give you another 45 seconds to look at an image. So this image we will start now. Okay, so that's 45 seconds. All right, so your first question here says, how many people were sitting around the table? What type of drink was on the table? How many people were wearing a hat? How many people were wearing sunglasses? And finally, was everyone smiling? All right, so once you have all your answers down, we're going to take a look at the picture here to answer your questions. All right, so how many people were sitting around the table? I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. What type of drink was on the table? There is a few drinks. The most obvious one to be this one, which looks to be some juice, probably an orange juice or something. There is a few other drinks here. They could be coffees. I'm not sure exactly what those are, or a tea or something. How many people were wearing a hat? It looks only like this lady is wearing a hat. Looks like she's got a fashionable fedora or something. How many people were wearing sunglasses? It looks to be only one. This lady here looks to be wearing sunglasses. And finally, was everyone smiling? Looks to me like everyone is smiling. He's got a big grin, a big grin. She's got a little bit of a smirk. I think that counts as a smile. And these two are obviously smiling. So it looks like everyone, all 5 are smiling. All right, so those are the 3 activities I have for you guys today. How did you do? So do you feel you did good? Did you get most of the questions right? Did you get none of them right? Did you get a few right? So you kind of gauge how you did and see if this is something you feel you did well at. All right, so today basically we practiced our visual and our observation skills. That's what these activities were. The original class for this has a few more activities to it. There's like an auditory activity where you're gonna like practice your listening skills, and there's also even a smell test one with it. So those obviously don't fit terribly well in this kind of video presentation, but yeah. So today we're talking about visual and observation skills. Do you feel that you need more practice with these skills? So based on how you did, if you did really poorly, maybe you'd feel this is something you need a little bit more practice at, right? Kind of looking, like observing the world through your sight and kind of like picking up on things out in the world. So if this is something you feel you need more practice at, like any skill, the more you practice it, the better you can get at it. So I encourage you to practice these skills. All right, that's pretty much all I have for today. If you guys have any questions or comments about today's classes or activities, feel free to contact me personally or to leave a comment in the comments section below this video. I would just like to take this opportunity to thank everybody for taking the time to check out our virtual class here. Hope you enjoyed the activities, and I hope you will join us for another virtual class that's posted in the future. Take care, everybody. Thank you.